First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. And I want to give double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me his truth. So today, I wanted to make a lesson going into how Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and these other nations are going to go into hardcore slavery, right? Bondage for all the things they have done to the Israelites, right? And this is part of Bible prophecy. Okay, when the kingdom of heaven is established, for the first 1,000 years, they're going to be building up the kingdom of heaven, right, through slavery, right? All these heathen nations, and going into primarily Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, are going to be in slavery. And after those 1,000 years of hardcore bondage, Esau, Edom is going to get completely exterminated, right? That race is going to get completely decimated. There's not going to be one more Edomite on the world. Okay, but the other nations are going to be they're going to be given grace, right, to live on the earth and to live under the law, statutes, and commandments, right? They're going to have to follow the law the best they can, or else they're going to get judged, right? But we're going to go into some scriptures to get into that, because this is a key part of Bible prophecy, right? All these nations have to pay for the atrocities that they have done to the Israelites. Okay, when Esau, Edom came over here and destroyed the Native Americans, right? The Northern Kingdom. All these things he did to him, right? The transatlantic slave trade, okay? And there's so many atrocities that are not even written, not even documented, that this devil has done to our people. So he's going to have to pay for that. It says, yes, he's going to have to pay double, right? But we have a lot of scriptures here to go into, but we're just going to hit the points. Starting here at Revelation chapter 20, and I'll start at verse 4, and it says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them," right? And this is John seeing in the future the kingdom of heaven, right? Ultimately, the elect. It says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai," right? Because in the past lives, there was men that have died for the witness of Yahweh Shai, right? For the word, for the doctrine. They were killed, right? They were martyrs, sacrifices. And this is what he's talking about. And it says, "And for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, the Roman Empire, neither his image," right? The entire philosophy, the system, "neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their heads, the mark of the beast, which is soon to come. And they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years." Right? And this is starting first and foremost with the 144,000, right? The governing body. They're going to set rule and order over the entire earth in righteousness. Okay? But verse 5 says, "But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished." Right? And this is talking about the other nations. This is the first resurrection. Right? And they're not going to be living because they're going to be in hardcore slavery. Right? That's why it says that. "The rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished." Right? After those 1,000 years of slavery, then they're going to have some type of life. Right? They're going to be brought back. And they're going to have they're going to be able to do their own thing, but under the law, statutes, and commandments. They're still going to have to come bring tributaries to the Most High Yahweh. But it says, "Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power," right? The nuclear missiles. "But they shall be priests of God and of Yahweh Shai, and shall reign with him 1,000 years." Right? We're going to rule with Yahweh Shai in righteousness, right? It talks about how we're going to be joint heirs with him. Okay? Because everything's going to have an order, starting with the 144,000, the men, the prophets, that they're going to be at the top of the food chain, right? Right next to Yahweh Shai. But let's go into Isaiah chapter 14, and this is talking about Edom, right? These other nations, Esau, Edom. It says, "They that see thee narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms?" Right? And this is talking about in the kingdom of heaven, when everything is back to order. We're going to be looking at Esau, Edom, saying, "Is this the man that put us through slavery? Is this the man that had us under subjection to payments, right? That had us just completely at the bottom, right? Lowest state, scum of the earth? Is this the man that had us, in slavery? Okay? That made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms? That made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners," right? He's got all these jakes in the prisons, and he gives them life sentences, right? Completely destroying our people, destroying the world, and destroying everything. The cities, how it says right here. And then it says, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house, right? And that's ultimately talking about the 1,000 years. How these other nations, they're gonna have their own house, they're gonna have their own little piece of land, and they're gonna be living in righteousness. Okay, but it says this is talking about Esau, Edom now. It says, "But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet." Right? They're going to be completely cast out. That branch, right? That race, the Edomites, Esau, so-called white men, they're going to be completely cast out. It says, "Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned." Okay? They're not going to be joined in burial with these other nations because they're going to be completely destroyed for the things that they have done to the Israelites and to the entire world. It says, "The seed of evildoers," which goes back to Esau, "shall never be renowned," right? "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities," right? Prepare slaughter for this people because of the things that they have done. "For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord." Right? He's going to cut off entirely the Edomites. Right? He's going to cut them off for the things they have done. "I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts." Right? So this is clearly telling us what's going to happen to Esau, Edom, for all the things that they have done to the Israelites, right? To the saints, for that apple of the eye of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? Let's keep going. This is Amos chapter 9 and verse 11. And this says the restoration of Israel. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old." Right? Everything's going to get established to its natural order, how it used to be. "That they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh that doeth this." Right? Because after the nuclear missiles destroy Babylon and a lot of the world, there's still going to be other nations, right? The heathens and the Edomites, right? There's going to be remnants. That's why it says, "That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this." Right? They're going to get gathered up and thrown into slavery for 1,000 years. But it says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt." Right? So everything is going to get completely reversed. Right now we're at a low state, and Esau is at the top, right? At the height of his rulership, just completely destroying the Israelites. The roles are going to get switched, and he's going to get destroyed, ultimately destroyed completely, and we're going to be at the top forever. Right? It's a beautiful story. And it says, "And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled out of their land which I have given them, saith the Lord thy God." Right? This is a prophecy soon to come, how the kingdom of heaven is going to be established. Right? We're going to have our own land, and we're never going to get thrown out of it again. Right? Ruling in complete righteousness forever. Hebrews the 8th chapter, the second covenant, right? The law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. But let's keep going. This is Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 12. It's talking about Edom. How it says right there. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them." Right? Because Esau, Edom, right? He went above and beyond. He went above and beyond on the slavery, right? The destruction of the Israelites, right? He literally went over the line. He did too much. Okay? It says, Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword." Right? He's just going to completely destroy the Edomites. "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel." Right? I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God. Right? Hey, it's clear. He's gonna lay his vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. Right? The Israelites are gonna put hell on Esau Edom, the so-called white man, for all the things that he has done, and these other nations too. Right? You can't exclude them too, because they helped Esau Edom in everything. Right? They helped on the transatlantic slave trade. Right? They helped. Right? They drank of that Babylonian juice. Okay. So, as it says, Israel is going to punish Edom, right? Straight to the point. But here, this is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 8. And it's beautiful how it says Edom will be humbled. Right? This whole chapter is talking about Edom. It says, shall I, let me get this is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 8. It says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mounts of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Right? Every single Edomite left is going to get destroyed after those 1,000 years of slavery. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? Straight to the point. Because of the violence that he did to the Israelites, he's going to be cut off forever. Okay? Straight to the point, right? The Lord's not playing, right? Everything that he did to us, he's going to get it done to him, double. Okay? Because he went over the line, right? He exceeded what the Lord thought in his mind that they were going to do to us, right? Just completely destroyed the Israelites, made us pulp. Okay? Right? There's a story, this is a brutal story, how when there was slavery going on, one of the white, or let me, how do I say this? One of the Edomites, he impregnated Jake's wife, right? A Negro wife during the slavery, okay? And that woman, or Salaki, I got it all backward. There was a pregnant Israelite woman, and in those times, that Edomite cut the stomach of that lady, took out the baby, right? Put the baby on the ground, stomped its head out, right? And then raped that woman in front of that woman's husband, okay? And then after he got done raping that woman, he raped the husband, right? That devil raped that Jake, right? He raped, like, that's just completely off, complete wickedness, right? And that's not even some of the stories some of the atrocities that Esau Edom has done to our people, right? The Israelites. But, hey, this complete wickedness, right? Because of all the things he's done, that's why he's going to be cut off forever, right? But let's keep going. This is Micah chapter 4 and verse 1. This is talking about the kingdom of heaven. But it says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Lord shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Right? When the kingdom of heaven is established, these other nations are going to come up and follow the ways, right? How it says, he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. Okay? And it says, and he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. Right? We're gonna completely subdue them. Right? They're gonna buck up for a little bit, but they're gonna be made bare. Okay? They're not gonna learn war anymore. But it says, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts hath spoken it. Right? Complete righteous order, following the law, statutes, and commandments. But the point I wanted to get was down here. It says, Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in many. Thou shalt let me reread that. And thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Right? Daughter of Zion is referring to the Israelites. Right? He's gonna make us a thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass. Right? We're gonna have spiritual power to punish the heathens. Right? Punish Esau, Edom. It says, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people. Okay? Talking about that slavery. Hardcore slavery. Okay? Hey, all these scriptures, it's not talking about some random event that happened thousands of years ago. Right? This hasn't happened yet. And it's gonna happen soon, right? In the future. Let's keep going. This is Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 16. It says, and it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Right? These other nations, the heathens, they're going to come up and worship Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Right? They're going to have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments to their best of their ability, or else they're going to get punished, as we're going to read right here. It says, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Right? They're going to have to keep all the feasts, right? Everything that is in the law, they're going to have to keep it to the best of their ability, right? Because they're still going to die, right? They're not going to be like the Israelites that rule forever, that have immortal bodies, right? New bodies, the second covenant, right? Because the Israelites are going to be made immortal, but these other nations are still going to be mortal, okay? But let's go to Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10, and this is talking about the nations building up the kingdom of heaven. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Okay? These other nations, they're going to come up and build up the kingdom of heaven. Right? It's part of those 1,000 years. It says, therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Right? These other nations are going to help to gather the remnant. Right? These other nations are going to help because after the nuclear missiles hit, there's still going to be nations. There's still going to be heathens over the entire world. Right? And we're going to get them under order and help us gather the other remnant that are abroad the entire earth. It says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Okay? If they don't follow our law, statutes, and commandments, right, the order that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to have on the earth, they're just going to get destroyed, right, punished according to the law. But, hey, you see how everything is painting a perfect picture, right? When you link the scriptures together, it paints a perfect picture of what's soon to come, right? This is how we know we have the 100% truth in the branch of great millstone, right? The apostles and elder bishops on down. Okay? No one else can break down these scriptures like this. Okay? Let's keep going. This is Daniel chapter 7. And this is one of the visions Nebuchadnezzar had. Yeah, I think it was Nebuchadnezzar or Belshazzar, but the point is that there was a vision that he had, and Daniel interpreted it. And it talks about the four great beasts, which are the four kingdoms that are going to be on the earth. Okay? But if you keep reading, in the fourth kingdom, let me see if I can get it real quick. Yeah, in the fourth kingdom, which is the Roman Empire, there's a little horn, which is talking about NATO, right? But I wanted to bring that out to get this in verse Salakia. Let me talk a little slower and get my thoughts together. I wanted to bring that point out about the little horn to get some, to bring that out, to bring this out. This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 11, and it says, I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, right? America, NATO. I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. Okay, the nuclear missiles, and ultimately those 1,000 years of slavery, and then he's gonna get destroyed. And it says, as concerning the rest of the beasts, right? These are the rest of the other heathens, the other nations, the other kingdoms. They had their dominion taken away, right? Their dominion, their rulership was taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season in time. Okay, because they're still gonna be on the earth after those thousand years of slavery, right? That's why it says their lives were prolonged for a season in time. And also their literal lives, they're going to live longer because they're not going to be drinking polluted water. They're going to be drinking clean foods. And the law, statutes, and commandments were made for us to live righteously, right? Live in peace. And all that brings a longer lifespan. But the main point I want to bring out with this is that their lives are going to be prolonged for a season in time. Let's keep going. This is Jeremiah. What did I get here? Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16, it says, therefore all they that devour thee by the... Let me reread that. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So all the people that have destroyed the Israelites, they're going to get destroyed. All the nations that put the Israelites under captivity, right, that made them slaves, are going to be put in captivity and made slaves. Okay, everything that they've done, that's going to happen to them, is pretty much what it's saying. It says, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Right? They made Israel just the complete scum of the earth, right? A proverb, a byword, and just made us seem like we were nothing, when in actuality we're the saints, right? We're the apple of the apple of the eye, right? Hey, but let's keep going. A couple more scriptures. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, right? And this is talking about Esau, Edom in the forefront, and the other nations. They brought us into captivity, so they're going to go into captivity. They killed us with the sword, so they're going to be killed with the sword. And it says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints are the Israelites, right? Because we have patience and we have faith this is going to happen, where we're waiting for this to happen, right? We're hasting for this to happen, right? That's why it says that. This is the patience and the faith of the saints, right? Soon to come, this is going to be a reality, okay? And I can't wait for it, right? This is what we look forward to on a day-to-day basis, is for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and all these other nations to go into slavery, to go into captivity for all the things that they have done, right? Let's get this now. In Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8, and it says, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Okay? Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Right? Talking about how, hey, they're going to get completely destroyed, right? Slavery. We're going to do whatever we want to them, right? In righteousness, right? Because we're going to pour out the wrath, right? That Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai has been holding on for years and years for the things they have done to the Israelites, right? Through us, we're going to be able to show that wrath, right? That, hey, it's going to be a gruesome time. Let's just put it like that. But let's get this now. This is Revelation chapter 2 and 26, and it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Okay? The Israelites, the ones that make it on this side, right, the elect, they're going to have power over the nations. And it says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Okay? Hey, it's pointing the same picture in all these scriptures, right? These nations are going to go into slavery, right? There's no other way to put it, right? That we're going to beat them with a rod of iron. They're going to be broken as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. Okay? But let's get the last one here in Psalms chapter 149, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh." Right? The saints, the Israelites, are going to execute vengeance on the heathens, right? These other nations, and punishments upon the people. We're going to bind them up just how they binded us up, right? With yokes of iron. And we're going to throw all their elites, right? Bill Gates, the Rockefellers, all these people at the top. Hey, they're going to get judgment, right? And every single brother, they all have a different type of judgment, right? We're going to have infinite thoughts on how to punish these heathens and Esau Edom for everything that they have done, right? It's going to be a very gruesome thing to watch, okay? But how we read initially in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4, it says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushai 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection." Right? But yeah, I just wanted to bring that out. And the main, putting it all into one sentence, is the Israelites are going to rule forever, right? We're going to be ruling in righteousness, have the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts. We're going to have immortal bodies, never die again, right? And all these other nations, Esau, Edom, they're going to be in slavery for 1,000 years. After those 1,000 years, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is going to get completely exterminated, right? That race is going to get swept off the face of the earth. But these other nations, they're still going to be alive, right? The other nations are going to have mercy. They're going to be able to rule, or they're going to be able to live, but under the law, statutes, and commandments. And they're going to have to come and worship Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, or else they're going to receive plagues, right? But that's the prophecy of what's soon to come, right? Via the scriptures, the Bible, right? And this hasn't happened in the past, right? So it's going to happen in the future, right? It's prophetic, which means it's soon to come, right? But yeah, I just wanted to make this lesson and just bring out some scriptures to go into that. Hopefully this was edifying. But with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakodash. And I want to give double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of the great millstone that taught me this truth. But Salakia for talking too fast, if anything, and just stuttering. I'm going to try and work on my speech to get the message across better. That's something I have to work on myself. But hopefully the message came across clear, right? If anything, you can go back and write down these scriptures, right? Write them down, take notes, and just build your foundation, right? Because in the times to come, these are things that are going to have us rooted, right? These are the things that are going to have us faith to keep going, right? Knowing the prophecies and how to break them down, and knowing that everything is happening for a reason. But with that, I want to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.